Lee and Mark's random tandem Haarlem tour. Here's the tandem. Ta-da! From Rent a Bike.
They opened especially for us, didn't they?
Yeah. And because, you know, you can't take a tandem on a train. Okay, it's just... But... So this is just going to be a cycle round town. Excuse me. And just look at pretty stuff. Try not to crash. Try not to fall off.
Emphasis on the crash.
Okay. And let's just get going. Well, we thought we'd start here so that you see a little bit of... a bit of nature, you know, instead of it all just
What's
being
nature?
city.
I don't see that in Amsterdam.
So here, this is the Haarlemmer Hout and the Kleine Hout. So it's basically the big traditional woodlands to the south of the city. And it's the oldest public park in the Netherlands, actually. 1560, astonishingly. So a really long time ago. It was burnt down in the Spanish siege. That was in 1572 and 3.
There's a statue of Hildebrand.
Hildebrand. He was a theologian and a poet. Neither subjects which particularly grabbed me.
And he was a professor of church history.
Okay. And with this park, as I said, it burned down a couple of times. Certainly in the Haarlem siege. It was redone in the 1700s in sort of English garden style. And very nice for it. Whoops. And here we have rhododendrons. I can see the actual buds. They're going to be lovely flowers all over those later. But the rhododendrons are quite late, I think.
Looks just like Alberta here, all the nature.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Alberta, are you going to be in Alberta?
I was joking.
Oh. Oh, okay. Haha. That was really funny.
Yeah.
And here is a little kind of, what do you call this place, Lee?
The petting zoo?
It's a petting zoo. That's the word.
The little Bambies in there.
Okay.
Come out, little Bambies. Yeah, in the distance, you can see them.
Yeah. Oh, lots of them.
Cute.
Yeah. Makes me hanker off the steak.
No.
So.
Oh, baby Bambies. Sweet. Horse, goats. Yeah.
So we're actually south of Haarlem, and we're heading up north towards the old town. And not very inspiring architecture on the left. 1970s or 80s leaving its mark.
Yeah, we can do better.
Yeah, even Amsterdam has some things like that, eh? Okay. I'd say ask questions, but we probably won't be able to answer them. So if you've got any really simple questions on Haarlem.
You actually know a lot about Haarlem.
Yeah, I suppose so. People think it's called Haarlem, it's a raised sandy place behind the sand dunes. So there's a line of dunes that runs along the western edge of the country. It keeps the sea out.
And it's where Haarlem in New York is named after, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We've got Haarlem, Brooklyn.
And let's go off-piste. Woohoo!
What's this called? Off-road riding?
Well, I said off-piste.
Oh.
Like you're skiing, but I know we're not skiing. So I want to go close to this building so it's it kind of fills the screen. How are we doing with that?
Yeah, great.
Some more still?
No, we're good.
You tell me when to stop.
Well, I can see it.
Yeah, but it's like you see lots of it.
Yes, it's the whole thing.
Okay, but is it small or big on the screen?
It's good enough.
Okay.
It looks good.
And say stop. Okay. Oh my God. Having a wife. Yikes. No, I want further than that. Let me try and straighten it. Yeah, let's go further. I want to see.
Okay.
It's a really lovely building. And it's called the Pavilion Welgelegen. Welgelegen. The Bronx actually was named after Okay, I thought it was Jonas, but maybe Jacob Bronk. And he came via Amsterdam, but he was Danish, I believe. But it was literally his farm. So they just called it the Bronx, like Bronx Farm. Okay, there we go. So the Pavilion. It's from the late 1700s. And it was, just wait for this, it was a summer house for the Hope banking family. So there's clearly money in banking. Okay, Jonas. And it was also Napoleon's brother, that's Louis. And he had it from 1808 to 1810. He was kind of fussy. He couldn't work out where he wanted to live. So he tended to go around house shopping. And he had exquisite taste in houses, I must admit. I mean, for like just some random person from Corsica, you know. But anyway, then the government owned it. And there was various museums. And since 1930, it has been the seat of principal government here in Haarlem. Haarlem is the capital of North Holland. Yeah. So, okay, you take that.
Over,
I'm gonna, yeah. And we're gonna cycle behind the lovely building. You ready? Yeah?
I'm on. Yep.
Oh, it's quite difficult starting on thick grass. Oy, oy, oy.
Whee.
Bike lane, bring us a bike lane. Hey Lee, it's
What's
not
that?
raining. It's not raining.
Yeah, we were just saying how mild this January's been, but now I think we just jinxed it.
There was all this stuff in the press about it could be 10 degrees colder than usual this winter, which has apparently not happened, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Liz asked if I'm cycling today. Yeah.
She's meant to be pedaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is hard to multitask, camera work and moving my legs. It's a bit like tapping your head and patting your stomach.
Yeah, Lee doesn't have to steer. You see, that's the wonderful thing about the tandems, is that we can actually do these bike tours legally. Because normally, you know, it's you're cycling and you're holding the thing, which is not actually allowed.
Your steering is terrifying. You always go as close to the stoop and the cars as possible. We never actually.
I don't.
Well, we don't usually crash, but it's.
I've always I'll tell you, Lee, just keep your eyes closed and
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
my life flashes before my eyes 10 times.
There is another option, you know.
What? I could sit in a basket.
No, you can get up and walk. Okay, so Haarlem, as I said, it was situated on a sandy ridge behind the sand dunes, yeah? And that was slightly elevated, which made it a nice place to have a town because it was safe from flooding. Also on the dunes, there were some trees, you know, so it was wooded, which attracted animals like deer. We've seen some deer already, and of course those were hunted and used for food. And the trees could be used to build shelters, houses-ish, as far as houses were those days. And yeah, there was also a fresh water supply. Gosh, this
Is this light ever going to change?
Very long time. I have pushed the placebo button, but I know this has taken a long time before. But we could just jump the red.
No.
Because we're Amsterdam.
Someone mentioned there's more cars here than Amsterdam, and it's true. There's more chances to get.
Yeah, I do remember this taking an age
careful.
before. It's really irritating.
You do miss the canals here. I love Haarlem, but there's something.
Yeah, I mean, they've got.
It's not as nice as Amsterdam.
That's the whole thing. Because it was elevated behind the dunes, it wasn't swampland, so they didn't create a canal system of repackaging the swamp and reclaiming bits. How can this go green again? Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't have all those canals, but it does have at least the old defense canal, or the new defense canal. Noisy here.
Someone asked, "Oh, how was that tour with Mark and Lee in Haarlem?" Well, we saw the traffic light.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to go now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well,
Okay.
once we get across this light, you'll notice how very cute Haarlem is. This is just a very sweet, nice, cute place.
Okay, let's go, yeah? No. Okay, well, they're locals in there. Ah, there we go.
Oh. Hurrah! There we go.
This whole detour was so that we can show you the little gardeny area behind Napoleon's brother. So he was King Louis Napoleon's kind of Haarlem pad. And now the seat of local government, because it's so pretty. I love the style.
Love these villas.
Yeah. It's not as big as you think. I mean, I could live here. I might have a problem furnishing it and certainly heating it. Could go minimalist.
So this is not as big as you think.
Oh, look how pretty. It's got its own private park here. Somewhere for guests to stay.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's your favorite artwork.
Oh, there's a whole lot of sculptures along here, and there's this really strange one over here. I don't know anything about it, but this is a great place to cross. There's no traffic coming. Except
where that bump come from?
Okay.
Oh, right.
So,
This cute villa after villa.
Oh, they're beautiful, these villas in this part of town here, sure. And there's a statue coming up, and this is of Frans Hals. Now, he was...
Not this one, obviously.
No, the one over there.
Yeah.
And he was from Antwerp originally. His parents fled here in 1585 with the fall of Antwerp to the Spanish. And he was based here. He loved Haarlem. He's kind of one of Haarlem's great sons. His paintings rivaled Rembrandt's. His brushwork was much lighter and looser though. And he didn't like leaving Haarlem. So people had to come here. And one of his famous portraits that I like, because I'm a big fan, was of René Descartes. So we know that René Descartes was in Haarlem, and we know when. Well, so what happened with Frans Hals is that he lived so long that he actually went out of fashion. And he ended up in financial difficulty, but because he was thought of so highly by his fellow Haarlemists, the Haarlem city actually gave him a pension. Well, it's better stop, I suppose. And
here we go again.
And then when he died, they actually gave his wife an almshouse. So they really looked after him, which was great.
Yeah.
Super.
There was an exhibition of Frans Hals in London recently, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And you could actually go and see it. It wasn't closed.
Tariq saw it.
Now,
have you seen the statue of the crossed fingers?
Hang on a second, let me just...
Okay.
This is a very busy road. Have I seen what, sorry?
The statue of the crossed fingers?
No.
Okay, that's something to check out after.
Okay.
Apparently that one's cool. Oh, thanks, Jacqueline.
Yeah, so Haarlem doesn't have trams either. So far fewer canals and no trams. And I must say, I think it makes for a really calmer city.
Really peaceful, yeah.
Yeah. And what I often suggest to people is if you're going to be visiting Amsterdam, why not stay in Haarlem? It's 15 or 20 minutes on the train, depending on which train you get. But the most it's ever going to take is 19 minutes, actually. And as long as you're not staying out until 4 in the morning, you'll have no problem getting back. And then you stay in this beautiful city. We'll see the center in just a while. And you're just a stone's throw from Amsterdam, but you get the sort of peacefulness of this place. Now, I think we came up that road earlier. Yeah.
This is one of the first places I stayed when I moved to the Netherlands.
In Haarlem?
Yeah, with some squatters through couch surfing. I thought I was going to stay in a nice apartment, but no, they live in a really gross squat. Okay. I spent a few days there and got my butt to Amsterdam. But they were nice.
Here ahead is the New Bavo. So it's a St. Bavo Cathedral. It's the Catholic cathedral built between, 1895 and 1930. And the architect here, help me out, Lee, wasn't it? Wasn't it a Kampen? The guy who, it was Kuiper. Oh, is it Kuipers or Kampen? I always get them sick.
Kuipers you were talking about before.
And I was like, maybe. Yes, Kuipers. Excuse me, sniffling, it's cold.
Someone asked, Someone asked if it's noisy to stay in Amsterdam. It all depends on the location you're staying in.
Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll cycle up this side so we get a better view. Otherwise, we'll be too close to the cathedral.
Great.
So, yeah, built anyway in the first 30 years of the 1900s.
Incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it is great. And in this, I've been inside in the afternoon. Oh, and the sun that just comes streaming through the stained glass windows down the one side is just phenomenal. So, when things are open again, and if it's ever sunny in the afternoon again, I'll hope to show you inside there one day.
I feel like this would make a really good 3D puzzle. Did you ever make those?
It would, actually. Something for my mother-in-law to keep her busy all year.
I love those.
Let's just stop and have a look. It's so beautiful. It's so unusual, isn't it? Really odd. Very. You see that big round section there is very, very reminiscent of the church on the square in Maastricht, where I'm going to be in a few weeks' time. But it doesn't have all the stuff, so it's just Romanesque feel to it. But then all of this stuff on the outside almost reminds me a bit of like the mosques.
Yeah.
In Istanbul. But I know these are more kind of upright, but the mosques around it. But to have this whole little cluster of roofs seems so familiar.
I find it strange. It's really so much bigger than any church in Amsterdam, and the population here is so much smaller.
Yeah, it is actually the cathedral of the Diocese of Amsterdam and Haarlem.
Okay.
So it's and this is the cathedral, and then in Amsterdam you have the St. Nicholas Basilica. But Amsterdam doesn't have a cathedral.
Okay.
So. This is the Leidsevaart, which means the canal that goes to Leiden. So, and the strange building here on the ahead of us, which looks like a cubist ice cream that's melting.
Yeah!
It's the Holland, it's the Stad Schouwburg. So this is the theater. The front is older, and the back here, that's where the stage is. So you can imagine they can hoist up and down big scenery backdrops, which is why that's so high. So it's an interesting combination of two periods, I think. And it works, as you'll see from the front, it's completely different. The front looks 1800s. Where are the pigeons?
I said it could be ice cream or a lot of pigeons that have sat on the roof.
Oh, go on, lower the tone. Now, we're going into the center. We could actually lose reception here and there. It's happened before. But do realize, obviously, that if I lose reception, it will come back.
This is the Stad Schouwburg, right?
Yeah. This is where I've seen Peter Dirk Uys, a wonderful South African political satirist.
Stad Schouwburg.
Yeah.
City Theater. Yeah. Oh, cute little chickens.
Chickens?
Chickens on poles.
Oh. What do you mean, on a stick, eating them? Those chickens up there, okay. Yeah, this is where I've lost reception on and off before, but we'll just see how it goes. And things change all the time as well, I think.
So cute.
Good.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's like a sculptured
Little
jumble.
gnomes.
Oh, like that's we're not going to get far
Aw.
there.
Huh?
The road's blocked ahead. It's going to go up this way.
Cute.
Okay, let's go around this way. Oops. Ta-da!
Ah, Slicey. This might be a good
Yes,
spot for Mr.
This is a
Slicey.
perfect. Did you remember or did somebody else
No,
remember?
Linda remembers.
Oh, well, excellent. Well remembered. Okay.
Yeah, it is really clean here. Everything's so pristine.
Da, 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 da. Mr. Slicey.
It's so cute.
And then on the back, I got my...
I saw your big collection at your house of Slices yesterday. It's out of control.
Oh, it's not getting into focus.
No.
That's weird. Okay. Where? Here.
Next to a gnome?
Here?
Oh, yeah, next to the little grumpy character. Oh. Next to Mr. Grumpy on the right and Buddha on the left. And some stares from the locals, like, whatever. Oh. Well, I think that's the perfect spot.
It is indeed. Yeah, I've got to keep remembering the slices because I need to get rid of... I got so many. My mother-in-law works at a charity shop and she keeps... Hold on.
Yeah.
She keeps buying them there for me whenever they come in. So I feel terribly sorry for the whole of South Holland because probably nobody has any way of slicing their cheese anymore.
Hey, you've got about 6 pounds of googly eyes.
This is true. Okay.
They weren't born with googly eyes.
Yeah, I managed to get a huge bag of them in Istanbul for like €5 instead of sort of €10 for a slab of 20 online. So I'm okay for googly eyes. So as far as churches go, let us see, let us see, let us see. There's the big church on the square. That's Old Bavo, or the big church, the Grote Kerk. There's the new Bavo, the Bavo Cathedral.
Ooh.
And then this is the new church over here. The new church. Maybe you can get it all in shot from here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah? This is built by 2 different architects in 2 different times. So Lieven de Key, and I'm going to show you some famous buildings of his.
Yeah.
On this main square. Oh, the sun's behind. The light's behind. That's no good.
I'll walk it. You hold the camera.
Oh, okay. And you bring the bike?
Yeah.
And thanks, Renee. I love the slices. They just make me smile. They're so funny. I've been doing it for about a decade now. I would imagine there are a large number of Catholics here, and it is the biggest of the Christian religions now. There are more Catholics in the country than Protestants. And I'm just try and get the light better on this. I'm hoping you're going to see more of it from this side. And then I was intending to do an Adam shot. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do one of these famous Adam shots. Yeah, I think this might be better here. Okay, here goes. So this tower here, as I was saying, was built, let me straighten this up for you, by Lieven de Key. And that was in 1613. So yeah, not that new, but it's the new church, relatively speaking. And the church behind was from later, it was 1649. And that was built by Kampen, the same guy who built the palace on Dam Square. And it's, as I say, completely different style. And what Kampen was doing with this church is he modeled it after what people thought the Temple of Jerusalem would have looked like. Opa, it's the new church. The new church in Haarlem. The Nieuwe Kerk. And the reason he chose to make it look like the temple in Jerusalem is because Reformed Protestants saw themselves as the new Israel, okay, born from a struggle for independence, for religious independence. Hey, Garima, hello, lovely to see you.
I love the lions. They look like when you ask someone to smile in a photo.
Okay, okay, you heard that.
Really authentic smiles.
Yeah, so here's the town crest of Haarlem. So it's the sword and 4 stars. And then above is a reference to the Fifth Crusade. Because Crusaders from Haarlem went... oh, hello. I'm like, okay, it's going to happen 3 times. Okay, you can stop now. Thank you. Yeah. And went off to Damietta on the Fifth Crusade. And there's such a legend about it. It's funny. That there was a chain across the... let's maybe hold on, I'll talk while I'm cycling. There was a chain across the entrance to the harbour in Damietta. Oops. And they say that the Haarlem ship had a big saw on its prow. And it actually managed to break the chain. And they managed to conquer Damietta. The only thing is that nobody else who was there actually saw this happen or has any recollection of it except the Haarlemers. So I'm skeptical, I must say.
Are we near Proveniershof, or you can't really film in Hofjes, can you?
Sure, I can go in there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to... this truck is parked, so I was going to go through there. Yeah, I'll pop into the Proveniershof, certainly. Let me just see if I can get through. Nope. Maybe I need to push through here.
Crash, crash, crash.
Oh, yeah. The reason I'm saying I'll go into the Proveniershof is it's actually a sociale woning. It's quite a big place. It's not a little hofje. I've been in before and I tested the reception and it worked. So I can pop in.
Okay.
And
I'll guard the bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just pop and have a quick look inside. Okay. I don't want to talk too much in here. I'll explain outside, Mark. It's so peaceful in here. Where are the people? Yeah. That's the door we came through. You'd never know, would you? Thanks, Satyam. Okay. I'll show you the route out.
I thought you got locked inside.
No, I wasn't locked in. So yes, the Proveniershof here has been many things. It was like an archery range. It was first of all a cloister, then it was an archery range, and now the Proveniershof here is an almshouse courtyard, but where you actually had to pay some rent, and it was open to couples as well, and it's still going as a sociale woning.
What a cute place to live.
And yeah, it is. It's very, very nice, I must say. Okay, let us. I think this is probably listed as 45 minutes. I hope you can stay maybe more like 60, because there's lots of nice stuff to see, and because it is also Holocaust Memorial Week coming up, I'd like to also take in the Holocaust Memorial in Haarlem, but it's the other side of town. Goedemiddag.
Oh, people say hi to you on the street here.
Yeah. Love these little streets down here. There was lots of refugees from Antwerp who lived in this part of town, so lots of the street names are named after the cloth industry and the dyeing industry, because they brought that with them from Antwerp. One of the big industries here had always been linen bleaching. Now, all Scottish linen would be sent over here to Haarlem.
No way.
Yeah, and then it would be bleached.
The horse.
Where?
The horse up there.
Oh.
Where is it?
By the way, if you stop pedaling, then I can't pedal. Yeah, so to bleach the linen.
Was the red flag was in the coat of arms that we saw on the church, right?
Yes.
With the sword and the stars.
With the sword and the 4 stars. And the,
yeah.
Okay, let's let this car sort itself out. I want to go down to the little 5 corner where the 5 little streets join. It's very cute. Now, this area in the 19th... Oh, gosh.
Just a local tractor. Yeah, that's something you don't really see.
Okay, here's these 5 streets join together here, but let's just skip that.
All right. Oh.
That's too busy and too noisy. But this area here was really bad in the 1970s. So you wouldn't want to walk through here at nighttime. It was all drug dealers and drug users. And I mean, look how beautiful and gentrified it is now. Haarlem is just a spectacular place. And if I didn't have such a gorgeous place in Amsterdam, and if I didn't love my neighbors so much, I would seriously consider moving to Haarlem. I think it's an amazing place. Now, yes, that's what I wanted to show you next. Another hof here. This one was intended for elderly or destitute men and priests. And it used to be a square like all hofjes were, but they widened the road at some point. So they broke down a bunch of houses exactly where we are now.
Can I go often?
Yeah, if you just pop over the hedge and have a look, that'd be great. And yeah, it's called Hofje van Loo. And it's from 1489. 13 rooms. And the funny thing with the hofjes is that generally men weren't provided with this type of accommodation because they weren't seen as capable of actually looking after themselves, of keeping a household, of cooking, and that type of thing. Whereas elderly women were seen as capable of that. So they were entrusted with a house, but generally the men just got a room. Okay. I mean, I can see that, you know. So I think, you know, sort of roles were probably so rigid in those years. Nowadays, of course, you're expected as, you know, as a man, you do housework and cooking and this and that. But I guess if you've never done it, you've never done it, eh? Right, let's go into the centre of Haarlem.
Sounds good.
Actually, you know what I want to do? If we could, it's time to put you all out of your misery. It's time to blow my nose. Because it's so cold. And I can't turn the mic off, unfortunately. This is just one of the drawbacks of having a mic right here. So, excuse me, block your ears.
Ian, are you also in Haarlem? Ah. Oh, no, other way around. Okay, got it. Thought you meant in the other direction. Oh, there's a Hudson's Bay company there. Rest in peace, Hudson's Bay in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're coming up to the butter market. Guess what they used to sell there?
Chicken.
Yeah, buttered chicken. It's just a really nice little cafe square now, with no cafes open. And yeah, the Hudson's Bay Company, that was built originally as a department store of V&D, Vroom and Dreesman. And there's a funny little story about it. There's a little apothecary drugstore at the bottom there, straight ahead.
Yeah.
And the department store, the original one, tried to buy them out, and they just refused. So they had to build their modern building around it. And the drugstore outlasted V&D, which went bankrupt.
Rightly so. And
now outlasted Hudson's Bay, which had to retract themselves from the Netherlands with their tail between their legs.
I do like them, though. I might be biased, but...
So, anyway, so here is the little drugstore.
This is called a hopper, a gaper. He's taking in a pill in his mouth.
Yeah, so these were generally with the turbans because medicine from Islamic countries was seen as far superior to medicine from Christian countries in the 1600s, which was probably quite right. So they tended to have somebody with a turban and the tongue sticking out and a pill on the tongue. Okay. And that's what traditionally meant it was a drugstore. So, how much time we got with you?
It's at 37.
37, okay. Go through... We're coming up to the Grote Markt. So the big market square. And this is, you know, it's ancient. I mean, they used to have knights jousting and that type of thing. So really is the center of Haarlem. You said a little church, the Maria Church. Grew and grew and grew. Into the Grote Kerk. The big church.
David?
I'm not going to visit the Corrie ten Boom house because we're doing that on Friday.
Yeah.
When we have a tour here about wonderful heroes of the resistance in Haarlem.
David asked if there's a limit to the tour. Well, it's just, you don't want to go too much over what you planned because people took time off and they have things to do.
Can we get the big church in?
Yeah, we got it.
Cool.
So we're at 38 minutes.
38. Yeah, normally what happens is that we kind
Sorry,
of...
there's a good postcard.
Informally, we sort of just go up to the hour because
the leg.
That doesn't overlap generally. A postcard with the leg.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
It was a nice leg.
Yeah, great. Oops. Okay.
Oh, I smell slow waffles. That's what I smell.
Oh, look, there's a picture of you here.
Oh yeah, there I am.
These levers almost, I'm sure you must be a descendant of the girl with the pearl earring. Okay, so here's the big old church. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just to say, it hasn't changed much over the centuries. However, there was some interesting details of it. It was meant to have flying buttresses, and they were meant to go here. And then they were meant to have yeah, Diana, she does. Make it into a much heavier roof, but they never got around to putting the flying buttresses on. And in about the 1800s, they didn't think it looked Gothic enough, so they added these parapets here. And the only other thing is that there, you can't see them here. Actually, you can. On the outside, there are these little shelves all along where statues of saints would have stood. And the church tower, even though it's right integrated into the church, belonged to the city, not the church.
Oh.
As they used it as a fire lookout, and on each quarter there's a little door there looking out over the city, and that is where the fire watch used to be. And if there's a fire, they would open up the door pointed towards the fire and wave red flags and blow their trumpets. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, hang around with me, kid. I'll teach you a lot.
We took that really good tour here, but that wasn't in it. I just remember something about Moby Dick.
Have a look at this one. Can you push the bike? And
Yep.
This is also by Lieven de Kay.
Yeah, I got it.
By the way, okay, Lieven de Kay, who made the new church tower, also built a bit of an extension to the city hall there. And that's very much in an English style. They weren't allowed to go more than 2 floors high, so he had a very high-pitched roof, so he could get more usable space in the roof. And then he also designed this, which was the old meat market, and it's in Dutch or Flemish Renaissance style. And it didn't go down very well at the time. People thought it looked like the work of a drunken craftsman. Get these Protestants here, how grumpy they were. Because I think it's wonderful. You know, it's the meat market, so it's got these like steers or cows, it's got the sheep up there. And they would pack the basement full of ice, and then on the first floor would be the meat market, and then 1 floor up they would have leatherworks. And I think it's a remarkable building, typical Renaissance style, so the orangey bricks and the strong horizontal stone courses.
I also like the tiny one beside it.
Oh yeah, look at the little one here. Cute. So yeah, I do tours, about much more detailed tours about the square. I'll do that another day. Let's head off to let's turn the bike around to the Holocaust Memorial. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Look how calm it is.
I was just thinking that.
So here are where the statues of saints would have been standing on those ledges like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Haarlem was besieged, what the besieged Haarlemers did is they took those statues and they paraded them, or maybe lighter ones inside, they paraded them along the city walls, dressed up garishly to taunt the Catholic Spaniards.
The statues?
Yes. They were doing that as though they were teasing them.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the Spanish had the last laugh. But, right, now let's see. We can go through this way. Cappuccino. Yeah. Hey, Adrian, I can show you the windmill, Adrian's windmill. So we'll do that. We'll end at Adrian's windmill, Molen de Adriaan, because I saw we actually have, besides our usual Adrian, we have another Adrian as well. So I think we've got 2 Adrians on board.
It's also my brother's name and my grandpa's name.
Okay.
Yeah. With extra A's, Adriaan. Yeah.
Okay, now.
Oh. Okay. Okay, you take it. Oh, I got the bike.
Oh, don't worry. Oops. Okay. Yeah. line this up. Okay. Okay, so during the Second, well, actually before the Second World War, right from the 1930s, Jewish refugees from Germany came in, and many ended up in Haarlem. There were about 1,330 combination of refugees and Jewish Haarlemers, and that was before the war. And the first roundups were of people taken into Amsterdam. And that's a very harsh story. I mean, it's like of the estimated 1,000 Jewish Haarlemers who went to extermination camps, only 12 returned. 12 is crazy. And this memorial has been here since 2012. And it lists the name. So yeah, I guess thinking about it, Haarlem had a names memorial a long time before Amsterdam did. It is very chilling. I'll try and read this. Whenever I try and read this, I find it difficult to read. But let me read it for you and translate it. In memory of the Jewish Haarlemers who were ripped from their homes and deported to concentration camps and had never returned. Vanwege hun huil ik, because of them I cry. So, yeah, very impactful. But yes, I just wanted to show you this since it's such an important week, and yeah, just. Now, the latest figures I could get of Haarlem's Jewish population was 71. So, yeah, not much. My gloves. And let's head off to the windmill. To lift the back of it.
71, yep. 71.
So, well, we fit through there. Yeah, easily. Scratch. Oh gosh, wouldn't that be funny? Oh, made it. Okay, we're coming up to the Sparne River, which is the one that runs through Haarlem, which is why Haarlem is here in the first place. Because it was built on that rise behind the dunes, excuse me, but also on the Sparne River. And that meant that they could control the river and charge a toll. Tolls are very popular. Excuse me. And yeah, so that toll was charged. Not here, actually. It was further up in a little place called Sparendam. But that was very local. When they were flushing the bleaching fields, because with the bleaching I mentioned earlier, they used buttermilk to bleach linen. And then when they came to flushing that, the river itself would actually run white with buttermilk. It's strange to think. But it's so placid and nice, isn't it? Once upon a time, I put a slicey over there somewhere. I wonder if it's still there. But the round thing ahead over here, this side, is the Koepelgevangenis. So it's the dome prison. And it was quite a forward-thinking prison at the time, late 1800s by the look of it, because the cells were all around the outside. or the inside rather, of the wall. So a guard in the middle could see everything. After it was a prison, it laid empty for quite a while. It was suggested to make it into a refugee center, and many people objected to the principle of it. Refugees didn't have a problem with it, and other people did. And now it's part of the university. Talk about locking the students away, making them study. Let's look at the other side here, Lee. This is another Hofje development, an extremely grand one, and it's called the Taylor's Hofje. I'm trying to get this in the right place. Taylor's Hofje, after Peter Taylor. He was very much a man of the Enlightenment and local to Haarlem. And when he died, this almshouse courtyard was made as... He actually had one here before, but it was rebuilt and made very grand because it's exceptionally important when you die. And if you have an almshouse courtyard for the poor, that God knows that it was you. And the best way to make sure that he doesn't forget is to put your name on it.
Hey.
So that's why it's called the Taylor's Hofje. Okay, let's go and see.
I wouldn't mind living in all this charity housing. Yes, please.
Hey, look at the drawbridge that's open. Yeah. It's a wonderful swivel one. I really love it. Let's see. Would you just go in quickly and we'll see it close?
Whoop. Not off the bridge, Mark. Oh, yeah, it swivels out. Oh, cool. Wow. Yeah. Cool.
Sweet, huh? Good old sort of late 1800s engineering, I think. Okay, Adrian, take you home. Here is the Molen de Adriaan. And it was originally where the city wall was. So this was one of the turrets of the city wall. And this guy called Adrian bought the right to have a windmill on top. Yay! And everything was just fine until it burned down. Okay, but that does happen a lot with windmills. It used to grind stone, snuff, flour, you name it. And actually it was rebuilt. So what you're looking at now is not original at all. It was rebuilt in 2002. And this looks nice with the prison behind it, doesn't it?
Look at this waterside property. I love these buildings.
Yeah, they're great.
Beautiful.
It's funny to think Amsterdam is only 10 miles that away. It seems like 10 miles away.
The coffee spot. Is that a cafe on a boat?
Wow. Huh. This is new?
Yeah.
This is like a takeaway cafe. Maybe it's
on
like a pop-up one because people can only do takeaway. Well, I enjoyed that. Let's set up a nice ending shot for you. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't have any arguments. Thank you, Ian. It's a pleasure. So we're on this boat. Police? No, look, we're on this boat, the cafe boat, but there used to be a petrol, like a boat where boats could come and fill up. Just moor alongside and fill up with their fuel. But that's not such a pretty view. Let me take you back to the... Oh, there's something else we can see that's from here. It's quite interesting. There is the old Bavo, the big church here on the main square. And you see it has a tower. And the tower looks very similar to the tower over there.
Yeah.
The tower over there is made of stone. It used to be over there. But then the pillars that supported it started sinking. because it was too heavy. So they had to take it off. And they made a replica one out of wood covered in lead. I know lead's quite heavy, but it was obviously thin. And then they needed something to do with the other one. Oh, thank you, Tish. Tish just put up our Facebook group of me and Lee. So if you want to join that, and we can chat about all things tour related, that would be cool. Yeah, so that's why they have two very similar towers. And great. Well, thanks for joining us. Do a lot of people still go to church there? To the main one, yeah, sure, on the square. Still a lot of people attend service. And they also have organ recitals and stuff, which is great. Wow, but it's cold in the wintertime here. Oh, it's such a big space. And it's just, the cold just goes right through to your bones. But anyway, we better go, coming up to an hour, so bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for the donations. It's a pleasure, Adrian. And hopefully we'll see you again here on Friday. And that's when we're doing Wonderful Women of the Resistance.
And that's where I'll actually have something to say.
Yeah, well, moral support. Yeah, no, we're going to talk about Kenal Hasselaar and Carrie ten Boom. And then also Hanni Schaft and Truus and Freddie Oversteeg. So that's going to be really a new tour. And we cycled it today as well. And we've been working on the info. And we think it's a goodie. So hopefully see you there. Bye-bye, everybody.